for attending my presentation. My name is Michael Szczech, and I'm a software engineer from New York. It's great to finally be here at Apex. I get the opportunity to meet and connect with all the great projects building on the XRP ledger, many of which who I previously only recognized by their Twitter handles. A little bit about me. I'm from New York. I've been developing software my whole life. I completed my master's degree in computer engineering with a focus on blockchain security. And I worked in the space for a few years and then ultimately left to pursue my own ventures. Today, I'm here to present XTokenize, an issued currency and NFT management tool. So we all know about the tokenization boom on the XRP ledger. Over the past couple of months, or I guess you could say over the past year, there have been several projects issuing assets, performing airdrops, selling their token on the DEX. But I noticed that they're all recreating the same tools to perform their distributions, their airdrops, etc. XTokenize facilitates the minting, management, distribution, and sale of issued currencies and NFTs on the XRP ledger. On the screen, I've highlighted some of the core features of XTokenize. And today, we're going to demo two major aspects of XTokenize: the issued currency feature and the NFT feature. In a nutshell, we're going to create a new issued currency configuration. We're going to mint some tokens, set some test trust lines, create a distribution, execute that distribution, and provision some liquidity on the DEX. For NFTs, we're going to create a new NFT configuration. We are going to deploy some metadata, mint our NFTs, and execute one of our three distribution options. So let's get into it.
So to get started using XTokenize, you're going to go to your installation directory and you're going to type in node xtokenize.js. That's going to launch the tool. First and foremost, it's going to ask us to select the network that we're going to work with. And since we're doing a demo, we're going to use the XLS20 dev network. And now we're going to select the issued currency manager and we're going to create a new issued currency. We're going to call this our recorded demo. Now we have to set up an issuing wallet. We have a couple options here. We could create a new wallet. We could import one from a seed, or we can use an existing wallet externally, such as through the Ledger Nano S. We'll create a new wallet, and since we are on a dev network, we are just not going to encrypt our seed phrase, but we have that option if we'd like. Next, we're going to set up our treasury wallet. This is going to be the wallet that holds our token, and we are not going to encrypt our seed phrase. And lastly, we're going to create a operational wallet. This is going to handle our distributions, and we're also not going to encrypt the seed phrase. We're going to call now we have to set a token ticker for our issued currency, and we'll call it cool token, and we'll give it a fixed supply of 1,000 tokens. And this issued currency is not already minted. Here we're going to review our configurations and everything looks great. So now if we go down to XLS20, the network, and select issued currency manager, we can see a new option popped up, manage existing IC configuration. So we have our configuration that we just created, recorded demo. So if we go to IC overview, it's going to say we haven't minted anything. So let's go ahead and manage our mint. Now XTokenize is aware that we are on a dev network, and it'll actually fund your accounts for you. We created our accounts, but we never actually activated them on the network. So we're going to activate them now using test network funds. So we're going to get a XLS20 network account and fund that those wallets with it. Now that we have our issuing wallet set up, we're going to enable default rippling. This will allow all issued currencies that we issue to be able to be sent from one of our holders to another one of our holders. Next, it's going to activate our treasury account. And once we activate our treasury account, we're going to set a trust line from our treasury to our issuer. By default, you can't just accept a token on your account on the XRP ledger. You actually have to extend trust to an issuer, basically saying, I'm willing to hold X amount of tokens, this token of this amount from this issuer. And this allows you to transact in issued currencies on the XRP ledger. So here we have a couple options. We could mint, burn, and freeze our trust lines, but we'll just go ahead and mint some tokens, and we'll mint 1,000. This is basically sending 1,000 cool coins from our issuing account to our treasury account. So now if we go to IC overview, we can see right here that our treasury has a balance of 1,000 cool and no active sell offers. So now we'll go to our testing tools. We need to extend those trust lines to our issuer. So we'll just set 25 trust lines. I have 25 test accounts set up here. And we'll set 25 trust lines to our issuer. Great, that's all set. Now if we go to manage our distribution, we could create a new distribution. And we have a couple options here: loyalty program, partnership program, or distribute it to all our holders, to all our trust lines. We don't have any holders to do a loyalty program. We don't currently have any partners, so we can't do a partnership program. So we'll just distribute them to everyone. And we'll distribute 25 total tokens, and each recipient is going to get 1 token. And we're going to use the operational wallet we created in our setup. This configuration looks correct, and it's going to save our configuration. So now if we go back to manage our distribution, we could see that we have a new active distribution. And we could just go ahead and distribute our tokens. Just like in the management section, we never actually activated our operational wallet, also known as our hot wallet. So we're going to go and fund that account. We're going to set up a trust line, and then from our treasury, we're going to send some tokens over to the operational address. Next, we're setting the trust line, allowing us to hold the cool token on our operational address. And it's going to ask us if we want to fund it with 25 cool tokens. And we are all set, ready to run the distribution. So now we're sending 1 token to all of our trust lines. If we go back to manage our distribution, we can actually go ahead and verify those results and see if there are any failures. Perfect. There were 0 failed distributions, and we'll mark it as complete. Now that we have some holders, we issued a token, we could provision some liquidity on the DEX. So if we view the order book, there's no market for it. So we're going to go ahead and initialize by providing some liquidity. So when initializing liquidity, you're basically acting as a market maker. So we'll provide liquidity for 50 tokens, and we'll purchase those tokens for 5 XRP each. We'll set a spread percentage of 20. And what that means is basically we're offering to purchase 50 tokens at 5 XRP. And we're also going to sell 50 tokens at 6 XRP, creating a spot price of 5.5 for our token. Now, if we view the order book, we could see our orders. And if we go back to our IC overview, and we could see some additional information is now populated here. We could see that our holders have a total balance of 25 cool. And we have a treasury to holder ratio of 39:1. We see the order book and our active orders on the DEX. So while we're here, I am just going to copy this issuer address so that we could use that to purchase some NFTs in our NFT demo. And I'll restart XTokenize, and I'll see you in a sec. Now that we have XTokenize restarted, we're going to select the XLS20 test network, and now we're going to go to NFT Manager, and we're going to create a new NFT configuration. We'll call this recording demo NFT. Next, we're going to create a minting wallet, and we are not going to encrypt the seed phrase. And now we could actually mint in another account on behalf of our minting wallet. So that's called using an authorized minter. So we are going to set up an authorized minter in this case, and we are not going to encrypt the seed phrase. Now we're going to initialize some directories so we could store some data. And we are going to set up our metadata configuration later because we have a handy dandy tool that allows us to create some test art and test metadata within the configuration itself. So we can now set up our mint configuration, and there's various different settings when creating your configuration for NFTs. By default, NFTs are not transferable, but we want them to be able to be transferred from one person to another, so we'll enable that flag. There's a built-in royalty system on NFTs on the XRP ledger, and we'll set a royalty on secondary sales of 5%. And we do not want to accept secondary sales other than XRP. We want all our secondary sales to be denominated in XRP. We do not want our NFTs to be burnable by the minter or the issuer for that matter. And we'll set a token taxon, which is a collection identifier for your NFTs, to 1234. We'll check our settings, and that looks correct. Next, we're going to create our distribution configuration. For this demo, we are going to do the fancy one, and we're going to do an on-demand distribution. And for when we're executing an on-demand distribution, we don't actually have to accept the payments into our minting account. We could specify any other account to accept our payments, and then we basically would monitor those incoming payments. If they're valid and if they're sent with a valid amount to the valid account, then that person is eligible to receive an NFT. So we'll create a new wallet, and we won't encrypt the seed phrase, and we will accept an issued currency, and I have the token issuer copied here. Paste that in right there. And the token ticker was the cool token, and we'll set the price to be 0.1 token. Looks good, and we are all set. So now we're going to select the network again and head into our NFT manager. Now we can see that we have a configuration available to be managed, and right out of the gates we're going to go into the testing tools, and we're going to create some mock metadata and assets, and we'll do 10 of them. There we go. We have 10 images and 10 metadata files. So now if we go into our manage metadata, we're going to have to actually now go ahead and create our metadata configuration. At this point in time, you're going to need, this is the reason why we waited to do this, is because we needed to actually create our art and our metadata in order to actually be able to inspect it further and deploy that metadata. So right now we're going to need our API keys. We support IPFS using Pinata and AWS S3. So we will continue. It identified these 10 metadata files. Great. That is correct. And now it's going to open up the first metadata file that it finds, and it's going to ask you for which properties need additional file deployments. And in this case, it's the image asset that we created. You could do as many additional assets as you would need. So we'll select the image property, and it ends in a .png. That is correct. And we're going to set up IPFS with Pinata. I have my keys right here. I'll probably blur this out in the video. And we have our secret there. Looks good. Great. Now, now that we made a change to our configuration, it's actually going to go ahead and restart XTokenize to finalize that change. So now if we go to manage our metadata, we could actually go ahead and deploy our metadata. And I'll just cut ahead because this might take a minute. And we're back. We have successfully completed deploying all 10 of our metadata files and our assets. Over here we have an example of what those metadata files look like. We have, they're all in the XLS24 format following the Art v0 NFT type. And here are one of our assets that we generated. So going back into XTokenize. Now that we're back in XTokenize, the next thing that we're going to have to do is initialize our minting accounts. So just like how we did on the issued currency, In the issued currency demo, we didn't have the accounts activated until we actually entered the management section. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. It's going to show us that the first account exists on the network. I accidentally activated that one already. And now we are going to activate our authorized minter. Once the authorized minter is activated, we are going to set that setting on our minting wallet to allow our authorized minter to mint on its behalf. Now it's going to look for our metadata files. It found all 10 items, and none of them are missing their metadata URIs. Great. And we are not going to mint here. We are going to do we're going to do something a little bit differently, and we're going to do mint on demand. So we're going to hit our testing tools, and we're going to send some mint on demand payments. Okay, let's see. Mint on demand. Ooh, we made a little bit of a mistake here. We were supposed to go to mint on demand first and actually activate our payment account. So all those payments had failed in our testing tools. Good thing we are on the dev network, and that's why we test. We're going to set a trust line to our issuing wallet for the cool token. That looks correct. And that was for our minting wallet. Now we are going to do it on our issuing wallet, our authorized minting wallet. Now our distribution is ready. And if we run mint on demand, we're going to see that there's 0 valid incoming payments because the account that it was trying to send the token to previously was not actually activated yet. So now if we go to our testing tools, this time it will work. So we'll go ahead and send 10 of our cool tokens to the payment account. And if we go back to mint on demand, everything's going to be all set up and ready to go. So when we execute mint on demand, it discovered those 10 incoming transactions, and now we're actually going to go ahead and fulfill them. And there we have it. We have successfully finished fulfilling all of our 10 mint on demand transactions. If we run mint on demand again, it's going to show us that they're all fulfilled. And it found 0 new valid transactions because we didn't send any. And that just about concludes the mint on demand segment. A little bonus here, I'd also like to emphasize the fact that we have a manage wallets section. This is available in both the issued currency and NFT manager, where you could manage your wallets stored in your configuration. Here you could basically execute all transaction types that are offered on the XRP ledger, and you could also manage your account settings. You could set your domain, email, etc., black hole the account. So I just thought that that was noteworthy to mention.
And just to quickly recap what we just did, for the issued currency demo, we created an issuing account, a treasury account, and an operational wallet. Our users extended a trust line to our issuing account, and we basically then, our users created a trust line to our issuing account. We funded our treasury wallet with our tokens. Then we funded our operational wallet to execute the distribution, and we sent that to the user. And then we initialized some liquidity on the DEX. For our NFT demo, we created some mock metadata URIs, stored those in local storage, created a minting wallet with an authorized minter set. We checked for valid payments on our payment account, and once we found valid payments, we actually created our NFT offers in our distribution, and then finally accepted those offers by our test accounts. And that was my demo.